So adopt, don't shop. I'm sure everyone has heard the saying before, or at least has seen the commercials on TV advertising the dogs for adoption. But how bad can, those puppies in the mall really be? Today we're going to talk about why dogs in a pet store or from a breeder might not be the most ethical or best option for your family, or for that dog in general. Sorry. And why there are better options, as well as just kind of giving you some resources and a little bit of information, so you are able to make that decision educatedly and to best suit what you're looking for in your family. So the first thing that we can get into is kind of what puppy mills are. Puppy mills are going to be any facility, doesn't have to be on a huge scale, just any facility that is going to put, the breeding and the profit of the animal above the actual welfare of that animal. So a lot of these places, they're, even if you're breeding an animal back to back to back to back to back, that's not necessarily ethical. That wouldn't go along with guidelines that they are supposed to abide by. Defects in genetics, they're not going to be checking for those types of things. They won't offer like a health guarantee, anything to that sort of effect. They're not going to be super worried about where these dogs are going. Again, their main focus is going to be based around the profit from that. I did look into a couple different sources through, I believe, the American Humane Society, and that sort of thing, and they were kind of detailing stricter guidelines for what a puppy mill may be, but they also gave a little bit of information and insight on backyard breeders. So everyone has heard of, puppy mills being horrible. Backyard breeders are basically going to be someone that doesn't necessarily have, again, the animal or that creature's best interest at heart. It's going to be looking for profit. They may offer to meet you somewhere else, or, they may want to come to you and give you the animal. So again, not really showing you the conditions or any history of where that animal might have come from. So these are all kind of just things to look out for when you're, thinking about a puppy mill. As well as, the animals they may cost. It may be a designer animal that they may be charging $2,500, $300, or $3,000, anywhere upwards of, $20,000 I've seen people pay for animals because they really wanted that specific look or that specific breed of an animal. But again, you're not ensuring the health of this animal. They're not, giving you any information on this animal. And there's like YouTube videos on it. There's horror stories about people buying these animals and then getting them home, and a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, there's something seriously wrong with the animal either because of how it was treated before, how it was, handled. People ship dogs from these puppy mills. Like, if you're buying a dog on the internet, probably not the best choice. If it's coming to you in a box from, another state, probably not a good option. You have to think about, beyond, wow, I really want this dog, and it's going to look really cute and that type of thing. So those are just a couple things to think about when, you do possibly come into contact with a breeder that you might not feel as confident towards. You don't have a lot of information. There's not many reviews, a little sketchy, that sort of thing. So as far as, puppy mills, you just keep an eye for, those red flags, and things to that effect. And I know everyone talks about adopting, and that is such an amazing, opportunity for these dogs. So everyone knows there's 1 million dogs that need to be adopted. When you think of adoption, people can tend to think of, like an older dog or something maybe that wouldn't, acclimate to their family as well. But so that's another main point that I would like to touch on is shelters do, and they are filled with so many different, shapes and sizes of animals. They have puppies, they have different ages, different breeds, all types of things. And one or a few things to keep in mind when you are possibly purchasing a dog from or adopting a dog from the shelter. And there was a really nice article that I read, you know, going in depth into this is, you know, the animal might take a little bit longer to acclimate. It might, you know, be really excited to see you. You know, keep in mind these animals may have not come from the best circumstances or best time before. You know, their entire life might have been sitting in a box before, and so they might sit in the corner of your house for 3 days when you first get it until it realizes that that's not its home. So just kind of keeping in mind things like that when you do, or if you do choose to adopt a dog, is important, so that that dog doesn't end up back in a shelter. And just kind of making yourself aware that you might not always know the history from that dog. As the same with, you know, buying a dog from one of these breeders where the health of the dog may not be in the best, or, you know, and by purchasing dogs from puppy mills, breeders, pet stores, that sort of thing, you're fueling puppy mills. So that's kind of the whole basis around why you should adopt and not shop. We don't want you to not get puppies. People don't want you to, you know, have to get an older dog just to save its life. You know, as lovely as that sounds, people may feel otherwise. They may feel, well, I want a puppy. That doesn't work for my situation. I need to train it. And that's very understandable. You know, you're buying and you're getting a companion or a pet for whatever specific reason you're looking for. But it is important to keep in mind those different criteria, that if you're bringing a previously owned animal into your home, that, you know, those are small things that you can overlook, obviously, but you do want to keep them in mind once again, so you're not returning that dog back to the shelter. So I think that all in all, adopting a dog is going, you know, the more dogs we can adopt, the more dogs that aren't being bought in shelters, is the less money that's going to puppy mills to fund those. And so just next time you think about adopting a pet, or think about getting a dog or a puppy, just keep in mind all the dogs that are out there that could love homes that are not in the pet store. Thank you.